Yo, what is going on YouTube? It's your boy John, aka Speros. In today's YouTube video, we had a massive Warzone intel drop on Twitter from Call of Duty, Charlie Intel, Modern Warzone. Everybody's covering it, and I know a lot of you guys don't use Twitter or maybe miss something along the way. So in this video, I'm going to go ahead and recap and go down the list of everything that they released today about Caldera, about how Warzone is going to work, because this has been one of the major questions I've been getting asked almost on the daily. John, what modes are there going to be? Am I going to be able to use certain loadouts? Am I going to be able to use certain guns? What's happening? I'm going to go over everything in this video. I'm going to go over all the information we have, and I'll be covering a lot more going into the future. If you guys don't want to miss anything like that, make sure that you guys are subscribed to the channel. We are on the road to 300,000 subscribers. Heading into Caldera, I'm going to have tons of tip videos, informational videos. I'll be covering everything in real time. So if you guys don't want to miss anything, make sure you guys are subscribed. If you would not mind dropping an early like, I'd very much appreciate that. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the recap. All right, so getting into the information, or kind of what people are really interested in and are looking for, kind of the highlight bullet points. Call of Duty has a fantastic article, which will be linked down below if you guys want to read it for yourself. I want to hear from you guys in the comment section how you guys are feeling about it, because there are some pretty drastic changes that are going to be coming to Warzone, and I'm curious to see what you guys have to say about it. Here at the start of the bullet points, this is essentially what the initial wave of content is planned for the period of December 8th launch and the 9th for all players. So this is the immediate changes. So they're already hinting that there's going to be more changes coming to the game. Not only what we're going to be seeing on the initial launch, but they're going to continue to tweak Warzone down the line, which is a good thing, because I think some of these things that we're about to go over are definitely going to need to be worked with. So the very first most important thing, the Gulag, you drop back in ready for combat. Essentially, if anybody played Iron Trials, when you guys went to the Gulag, say you had a grav in the Gulag, a stun, and a grenade, and you won your Gulag, if you spawn back in, you spawn in with the stun, the nade, and the grav. I think that is honestly a great feature. I can't tell you how many times my teammates are in battle or in conflict, and I go to try to land on them to, you know, give just suppressive fire, because I'm landing in with a 1911. And I just get absolutely smoked. So I'm excited to see that. However, I do think it is going to be a little bit annoying. You know, let's say you're in quads, right? And your team, two of you go to the Gulag, two of you come out. Both of you have full auto weapons. If you choose, you know, you find a player kind of on their lonesome, you could choose to just double that player, and then it's going to be kind of annoying. So it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. However, I do think it's going to make it a little bit more balanced for people trying to regain. So moving on to the next thing, loadout, items, and field upgrades. This is an absolute powerhouse part of the article. This is what everybody's been waiting for. Why this took 2 years to do, I don't know, but it's finally here, so let's be happy about it. Dead silence is being nerfed. How they're nerfing it, we don't know. The best way in my mind to nerf it, go ahead and make it so that way I can still hear the footsteps. Just make it drastically quieter. If they ADS walk, I should not be able to hear the footsteps. But if they're full sprinting at me or slide canceling, I should be able to hear something. And then number two, the thing I'm probably most excited for, stopping power rounds, they're out of here. We'll be seeing them. They're no longer going to be in Warzone, which I think is a fantastic addition. So getting into that a little bit more. In addition to detailing those exact changes, Raven Software looked closely at various equipment pieces, such as Nerfs to stuns and heartbeat sensors. So if you guys now get stunned, I do not believe it will last A, as long, and B, it won't be as drastic. I think you'll be able to look around left and right. I think you're just going to be kind of more stuck, you know, in glue. Like, you're not going to be able to run around anymore. So I'm excited about that. And then obviously they're hinting at a nerf to heartbeat sensors, which is something that we really did need. In the past, in Iron Trials, the heartbeats had already been nerfed or reworked, where they only worked up to 30 meters versus 50 meters. I personally would like to see them out of the game completely. Obviously, that's not realistic. Or making them limited use. You know, you can use your heartbeat once every 30 seconds, kind of like a restock situation. That could be another nerf or another way to nerf it. You could pull it out, and then when you put it away, you got to wait until the bar fills back up, and then you'll get another use out of it. So there's a lot of different ways that could go. They also took another look at dual wielded melee weapons, which is fantastic. Cali sticks and size in particular. Apparently they're making them less potent in Verdansk. Thank God, because the Cali sticks are absolutely busted. And along with that, they're going to go ahead and actually nerf hitting people with the gun butts. So basically just pistol whipping people off the drop, or meleeing with your weapon is not going to do nearly as much damage, which is another change a lot of people wanted to see, and I'm very excited about. Another change involves loadout drop markers. This is something almost nobody's happy about from what I've seen. I'm honestly kind of curious and kind of happy about it. I'm curious to see how it plays out before I give my official verdict. But basically, you won't be able to buy a loadout marker until the very first loadout drops. Now, with that being said, they are already hinting that the zones are going to move faster. So if they're going to speed up the zones, that means the loadout's going to come in quicker than it comes in now. Because right now, I believe it's like almost 4 to 6 minutes into the game before the free one drops. I don't think it'd be nearly that long. I don't think they're going to make people wait that long to get their loadouts. But once the free one comes in, you are able to buy another one on the buy station. This adds an interesting dynamic to the game. It gives us a lot to think about. Just at the face value, a lot of people are worried, oh, high kill games are chalked. I want my guns. I want my loadouts. It's honestly really not that bad. Most people will not grab Ghost off the free loadout because they're going to want to have overkill. They're going to want to have both of their weapons. Also, during that time before the free loadout comes in, nobody's gonna have Ghost unless they get specialists. They didn't say anything about specialists, but nobody's gonna have Ghost. So UAVs are gonna be extra helpful. So that's gonna be awesome for getting high kill games, assuming that you're good enough to use ground loot. And I'm also assuming they're gonna make the ground loot pretty freaking good. But that is an interesting change, and I'm kind of curious to see what you guys think about it. Let me know in the comment section down below. Along with these nerfs, several lethal and tactical equipment pieces see much needed buffs. Most lethal equipment will deal more damage, while snapshot grenades will see an effective radius increase. That is kind of crazy because the snapshot grenade is honestly pretty insane. I'm just going to come out and say it. You throw it into a building, and it doesn't matter if the snapshot is like in the same room, as long as they're like in the house, they just light up orange. So interesting to see that they're going to buff that. Stim will also apply slight movement boost. That's also interesting. We already know the stims already reset your automatic tac sprint. So the fact that if you stim, you're going to move a little bit faster, they'll definitely play a larger role. And then obviously the decoy grenade, arguably one of the most useless sets of equipment inside of Warzone. Apparently it's going to have rubber bullets that deal just enough damage to pester enemies. A lot of people are speculating this is going to be similar to the rocks in the Gulag, where, you know, you throw a rock, does like 1 damage. I'd assume we see something similar to that as well. So gas mask and explosive canisters. Apparently they're adding these new canisters to the game that can be shot, and it will put out some sort of gas that is going to be a nuisance to other players and cause them some sort of damage. So these explosive canisters are actually filled with the gas that the zone is made out of. So this will do damage to your player. This will cause you to pull out your gas mask, and it will cause your gas mask to get decreased. So that is something that is going to play a very tactical role inside of the game. It'll be interesting to see how it works. But also, they said that they're working on making the gas mask animation not be so cumbersome. They're basically saying that they're going to speed up the animation of putting the mask on and taking it off, along with apparently certain things are not going to interrupt the animation, or the animation won't interrupt those things anymore. 2 examples of the animations that won't be interrupted by the gas mask, and that is going to be reloading and plating, which honestly, I cannot tell you how many times I'm stuck out in the zone, or, you know, coming into zone, and I either have to reload my weapon or put a plate on, and I just simply can't because my guy's, you know, playing future, freaking mask on, mask off, just going crazy as I'm trying to navigate my way out of the zone. Another thing with these canisters, another thing that is going to go under the radar that not a lot of people notice, is if you continue to read, it says, after picking one up in Caldera, talking about the canisters, try lighting the fuse and throwing the canister. So essentially they're saying that these are going to be grenades in a sense, or clipping it to an ascender as a nice gift to somebody who's overstayed their welcome on high ground. So there's going to be ways to get things to high ground, you know, without actually going there yourself, or things that might be out of range of throwing it. You know, say you're at the bottom of Nakatomi, somebody's at the top. You can't throw a stun, can't throw a grenade and then hit the zip line up. But apparently they're bringing something into the game where you can ascend it. I'm assuming this is going to be similar to the balloons inside of Plunder. That's what I would assume. Shallow water is going to be something that's going to be introduced into Warzone. This is going to be right now in Warzone or Rebirth, whatever you guys are playing. If you jump into any kind of water, your character, boom, insta-dead. So this shallow water is going to be something that you're going to be able to walk in. And this is another thing I think a lot of people have missed out on. And it says walking within water makes it harder to see footsteps, even to those operators with the tracker perk equipped. So looking at this here, I honestly didn't see it at first. I'm seeing it the second time around. I think we're going to be able to see footsteps on the map. So like if your character is running through mud, sand, snow, wherever it may be, obviously there's no snow on the map, but you guys get what I'm getting at. I'm trying to give you a visual here. You're going to be able to see the footsteps on the ground of where players have been, or if you're chasing somebody. So tracker might not be that important. Obviously, if you're in like a water area, tracker is definitely going to be more beneficial. Most people don't use tracker, but it's interesting to see that they're giving us a little bit of insight that you're actually going to be able to see footsteps on the map. And I think that's going to be really, really huge, getting that kind of information. Moving on to contracts and public events. This one is very, very interesting, and honestly a little bit nerve-wracking as a streamer or a higher level player. And basically that's going to be the big game bounty. So the big game bounty is basically a contract that can only get picked up once per game, but it will target the player with the most kills. So I'm assuming this is only going to be in the map in one spot. I don't know exactly how this is going to work. To me, it makes it seem like it's going to be available. There's going to be multiple of them scattered throughout the map, and it's going to be available one time per each team. It could also work as kind of like a most wanted. Let's say you pick it up and it just marks them on the map. I doubt it'll be that precise. I'd assume it'd stay with the bounty situation. But obviously with the big game bounty, if you're going to be challenging those higher level players, you got to be ready to bring your A game. And I'm assuming the payoff is going to be huge for either the people that take them out, or if they end up surviving it, the payout's going to be pretty large. And then there's also a top secret contract. Basically, this is going to be a top secret contract. It's going to go ahead and give you a random contract. It's going to be kind of RNG. You can either get a bounty, a recon, a supply run. I don't even know what other, or it could give you the most wanted, which is the one you obviously don't want to get. But it's going to pay you out more because you're kind of playing Russian roulette for which kind of contract you're going to get, which is honestly kind of cool because it is going to create an interesting dynamic and spice up the game. You know, adding more RNG to BR, I think, isn't necessarily a bad thing, specifically when it comes to something like this that isn't going to directly impact your gameplay that much. Obviously, you know, weapon and RNG don't really work well together, but that kind of works. Public events, as for right now, I'm assuming they're going to be keeping the same public events that are available on Rebirth, and they're going to be coming over to Caldera. With that being said, I don't think we'll see the helicopter, the supply run thing anymore, although they do hint at that they're going to be putting some sort of crazy weapon crates and like weapon drops. I'm assuming this is going to be similar to PUBG or even Blackout. You know, you had the plane come overhead and it dropped a crate that had, you know, crazy good weapons in it. And that's basically what they're hinting at, is there's gonna be a crate, a weapon crate, and it's gonna go ahead and drop redacted weapons, which I think is pretty cool. The redacted weapons, for people that don't know, are the weapons that are completely maxed out with attachments, and they're just built like crazy. And obviously, with not being able to get your loadout very quickly, having these redacted weapons is gonna put you at a supreme advantage. It's kind of crazy. I know a lot of people are curious about Rebirth Island because they don't know exactly what's going to happen. So with Rebirth Island, it is here to stay for Warzone. It is definitely a fan favorite. People absolutely love Rebirth, so it's going to be here to stay. So aside from some of the main changes coming to the game that we're going to go over later in the video, the main question is what modes are going to be offered and how is this going to work? John, am I able to use my blueprints? Are there going to be duos, quads, trios? Like, how's everything going to work? So basically, the information that they gave us here, Vanguard Royale leads the Season 1's featured playlist rotation. The game mode that puts a fresh set of vehicles and streamlined loadout and weapon pool on the brand new map. So they're saying this is going to be Season 1's featured playlist. So the featured playlists, in my mind, are solos, duos, trios, and quads. So the Battle Royale section on the main menu is going to be made up of this Vanguard Royale. They're going to get rid of the Battle Royale or have it still there, but it's not going to be the featured playlist. So the featured playlist is going to be this main headline. The core playlist is going to be Vanguard Royale, basically with all the Vanguard weapons. So new vehicles and dogfighting. Fly fighter planes to rain down fire on foes, or head to the AA guns, aka anti-aircraft guns, or trucks to shoot them out of the skies. There are also ground-based vehicles, including a squad transport all-terrain car that will help your squad cut through and around the island, which you guys can see featured on the screen here. It's basically just the Mercedes G-Wagon, but with less cover. So we're going to be getting shot out of cars a lot more. It'll be interesting. Hopefully no Berthas, nothing hinted at that yet. A focus on Vanguard weapons. Loadouts can only contain Vanguard weaponry, streamlining the meta for more accessible and room for experimentation. Basically going from this, you know, 200 guns that we're going to have in this Battle Royale mode, and then cutting it down to just Vanguard weapons, which is still a decent amount of weapons. But obviously it's going to be a lot easier to balance, which is something I'm looking forward to. And again, this is just in the Vanguard Royale mode, but it's going to be the featured mode. So there will be another mode which will have Cold War, Modern Warfare, and Vanguard weapons all in one. But for the Vanguard and the featured mode, it's just going to be Vanguard weapons, which is something I like. Something else that they're doing is the circle collapse changes in in-game events. But basically, it says the radii and the times for the circle collapse are altered to offer a different pace of play, assuming they're going to go ahead and speed up the circles. Obviously, we have to wait for free loadout to come in until we can purchase a loadout. But basically, they're going to be speeding up the circles. So you get your loadout faster, but also it speeds up the game. So with each circle collapse, we're expecting an in-game event and a bombing run. Now, the bombing run seems really, really frustrating and really, really annoying. However, I'd assume it's going to be on the map. You'll know where the bombing run is, and it could spell disaster for you and your team, or it could just, you know, be there and you could use it as a tactical advantage. This is going to be similar to something that we see in PUBG with the red zone, where there's just a random bombing barrage happening on the map, but it is laid out for you. It does tell you where it is and when it's going down. Anyway, though, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys learned something, feel free to drop a like on it. If you guys want to see more videos like this, make sure to subscribe. I'm going to be making a video going over every single one of the POIs. It's going to go up either later tonight or tomorrow morning. If you guys want to see that, make sure you guys are subscribed. Drop a like if you haven't already. And without further ado, man, I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day, and I'll catch you later. Peace.